Candyman, 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 Candyman. Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today, if you didn't guess by that sort of weird and morbid introduction, I am going to be reviewing The Forbidden, or you may know it by its more popular name or its more popular title, Candyman. This is was a short story that Clive Barker wrote for his collection of horror stories called The Books of Blood. This is his first story in volume 5 and it is simply called The Forbidden. I listened to this last night as it's about 1 hour and 20 minutes long, so it didn't take me too long to listen to it, and it was my first time doing so. I am a really big fan of the original Candyman movie, which was released in 1992, and the reason why I chose to listen to The Forbidden was because I am excited and kind of apprehensive about seeing the new Candyman movie, which is going to come out at the 27th of August over here in the UK. I just want to make it perfectly clear, guys, that this isn't going to be a movie review. This is only going to be a review for the novel or the short story The Forbidden. I may make comparisons from the movie to the story, but primarily this is going to be a book review. You may also be wondering what I made of the trailer for the new Candyman movie, and it was fairly mixed. I didn't really like it about how they made him a literal person that sold candy to children that had razor blades in it, which if you have read the novel, or the short story rather, there is a short section of it where it describes these pieces of candy that have got these razor blades scattered around them. So I'm not really thrilled about that section. I don't know what I made of the shadow puppetry throughout the trailer as well. We didn't really see Candyman in his full glory, but we heard his voice, and also, surprising to me, while I was doing my research for this video, while I was making my notes for it, I found out that the original actor that played Candyman back in the day, Tony Todd, is reprising his role as Candyman himself. I did hear his voice, or him speak in the trailer, and it does sound awesome, so I cannot wait to see what he brings and his performance of this figure, as there's actually been about 3 other Candyman movies out and he should be really used to playing this figure, so I'm excited for that. Let me know down below if you would like me to do a review on the 1992 movie or the 2021 movie as well. So before I tell you what the story is all about, I have to say my usual things here that I've got to say at the start of every single video, and that is, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, and this is going to be my own thoughts and feelings regarding this story. So the story introduces us to our main female character called Helen, who is at a estate complex called the Spectre Street Estate, and she is there from a university that is very close to it, and she's primarily there to study and take pictures of different graffiti and all that type of stuff, and maybe architecture of this specific building, and researching urban life and urban architecture and that type of thing. So while she's at the Spectre Street Estate, she's taking her pictures, and everyone in the estate keeps to themselves. It is not a very nice place to live. It has loads of crime. Fires have been constantly are a constant thing there. Shooting, stabbings, robberies, and graffiti is covered in this building, both outside and in. Everyone in this building, as I said, keeps themselves, as crime is at an all-time high on this estate. But everyone that goes there isn't necessarily bad, or actually lives there is not necessarily bad. They are just in this bad situation and they are trying to live with it, and it's just their lives and they have to put up with it. So while Helen is taking her pictures around the estate, she comes across numerous characters which are in the movie. We see a small boy which she interacts with, and that's kind of a nice interaction. We find out that she talks to a woman called Anne-Marie who has a baby, and she is a single mother, and she tells Helen that there was a old man across about a few apartments away from her that got viciously murdered. We also find out about a character called Trevor, who I'm not sure if he is Helen's boss or what, or lover, because in the movie Trevor is Helen's lover, but he's not really in the novel that much. We do find out about Bernadette, who in the movie she had a more prominent role. She went to the estates with Helen in the movie, and they were kind of best friends and really close with each other. But this one, she has a really, really minute role. She's basically the assistant of Trevor. So, unlike the movie, Candyman, or this mythical figure, isn't at all mentioned until the very end of the book, or the very end of the story rather. Because in the movie he was mentioned a lot. The people in this estate were afraid of him and they knew about him. He was like an urban legend. But in this, and I mean that's the reason why Helen went to the estate in the first place, to research Candyman and to do a paper on him. And yeah, she did take photographs of the graffiti while she was there, but that was kind of for her evidence for her paper, pictures for her paper that she was writing on this creature or legends that was terrorizing this estate complex. But that's not her intention. As I said in the book, her intention is to purely take pictures of graffiti because that's what she's interested in. And she doesn't even know who Candyman is in the book. She doesn't know this creature or this legend or this man or whatever it is. It's not really fully explained about who Candyman is. We don't know his origins, because in the movie he was described as being, I wouldn't say a slave, but he was brought up in a time in America where slavery was a big thing, and he fell in love with a white woman, and that resulted in him getting chased by this mob who caught up with him, killed him, cut off one of his hands, and smothered him with honey, and all these bees stung him to death. I'm not sure if he was set on fire as well, but ultimately he died of these injuries. And this happened on the very land that the estate in the movie, and I presume in the book, was actually built. It's not, as I said, it's not, none of that is actually mentioned in the book. We don't know anything about his backstory whatsoever, but it kind of leaves a bit of a mystery element to it. As Helen is investigating this killer, which she asks around, we find out that there was a man who didn't know how to speak. It didn't say specifically in the book, but maybe he had a disability, and it resulted in him having the mind of a child. And he went into this bathroom when his mother was across the street in the supermarket, and he got his bits and pieces chopped off and flushed down the toilet. This book can be scary. It is It can be graphic, but not gory, if that made any sense at all. But it is very, very atmospheric. You do feel this estate. You actually do see the graffiti. You smell the urine. You smell the must. You smell the dirt. It's really, really dirty. It's very atmospheric. It's really well written. I would highly recommend that you read this, despite whether you watched the movie or the movies or not. This is a great horror story by, in my opinion, one of the best horror writers of all time. So you're probably wondering, David, does Helen actually see Candyman? Do they have a interaction? Yes, they do. She finds him at the end, although she doesn't go insane like she did in the movie. She doesn't say, "Oh, Candyman's here, he's coming to get me," and they lock her in a hospital and they strap her down and you think that she's insane. That doesn't happen in this book. She does actually see Candyman at the end. I won't say what happens or what he does, but he doesn't appear to be a violent person. He's very romantic. Yes, he does want to harm and kill Helen, but he wants to do it because he wants to try to have her to himself. He's very charismatic. He's very charming. He's very romantic. He is a gentleman, but at the end of the day, he is this vicious monster. He is this maniac that is fueled by hate and anger and blood. And he does use the phrase sweets to the sweet, and I can't explain it. His interaction with Helen is so engaging. He is such a great villain. Although I don't see him as a straight up villain. He isn't like Pennywise. He isn't like Norman Bates or any other psycho that is that is all about kill, kill, kill. He's not like Jason 4. He's where he just wants to kill and that's all he wants to do. He does have a soul. He does have a conscience. He does have a personality, and he does have feelings and emotions, but we don't really see how he became this figure. We do see that he has all these bees inside his body. He opens up his coat and he has all these bees in his torso and coming out of his mouth. So that's all I really want to say about it, really. That's pretty much the story of The Forbidden. It doesn't really deviate from the movie at all. The movie just kind of like takes what the story brought to the table and just stretches it out. And it's just a really, really good horror story. If you haven't read anything by Clive Barker, you should read this. I didn't actually read it. I listened to it on audio. I will have a link down below to the audio version of it. It is a really, really good audio. Although the music tracks in it tend to go a bit high, but you can still hear the narrator. And it does actually have little clips from the movie that give the story some context. So I would highly recommend that you listen to the audio version. So what did I like about The Forbidden? Obviously, I liked the villain. The villain is the best part of this book. Candyman is such a great villain and character in this story. As I said, he's not straight up bad. He does have layers to his character and his personality. And he gives you the impression that he has been on his estate and he's existed for years. And he knows that people treat him as an urban legend. He knows that he is a whisper in the classroom and he's a whisper in the stairs on his estate, and he's constantly in the back of people's minds, and that is what makes him real. That's what makes him exist, is people's fear about him and how people spread this legends around and tell stories throughout the years and keep this myth alive. And that's what I really liked about it. I can't praise this character enough. He is so good. So what did I dislike about this story? Well, because this is a short story, I can't really be too hard on it, as it's only a short story. But this is such a great tale, it really is. I would have liked it if he fleshed it out to about 100, maybe 150 pages long, like he did with the Hellbound Heart, rather. So the length is the only thing that I had I wouldn't say an issue with, but I would have liked it if it was a bit longer. As I said, I didn't really have that many dislikes about this story. It was so good. Yes, I would have liked it if it was a bit longer, but it was a short story and I've got to judge it on that. Apart from Helen and Candyman, and to an extent Anne-Marie, they were the standout characters, and the other characters were more on the sidelines and hardly mentioned at all. And yes, I would have liked it if they were a bit more fleshed out and we got to know them a little bit more, but hey, what can you do? So I'm going to rate The Forbidden a 5 stars out of 5. This was incredibly fun. It was atmospheric, it was creepy, it was scary, and yes, I did listen to this last night before I went to bed, so it was so good. I can't praise this enough. This is going to get full marks. So in conclusion, if you have never read anything by Clive Barker, this is a good place to actually start, or a good story to dip your toes into this author to see whether he's going to be your cup of tea or not. He is such a great writer. I am planning to read the entirety of the Books of Blood, maybe on Halloween periods, but I would definitely recommend this to anyone and everyone that likes horror or is trying to get into horror. As I said, it's not overly gory. There is killings in it, there is murder in this, but it's not over the top. So that's it, guys. That is my review on The Forbidden by Clive Barker. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Comment down below, let me know what else you have read by Clive Barker. If you have read this book, maybe you've watched the movie or movies, maybe you're excited about watching the new movie this year. Let me know down below and we can have a discussion about this. Let me know what one of the Candyman movies are your favourites, and we can just nerd out about this character and about this, I wouldn't say franchise, but that's what it's becoming. And if you have enjoyed this video, please click on that subscribe button, and if you do, please click on that bell button as well, as it will remind you about whenever I upload videos, which I post every Monday and Friday. I just want to insert here as well that I have seen that there has been a slight surge in my subscriber count recently, and if you are new to watching my videos, I just want to say a massive thank you from me to you, as well as anyone and everyone that's watching my video, regardless whether you're subscribed to me or not. It means the world to me, it really does. I will also have a link down below to my Goodreads account down in the description in case you want to follow me on there or send me a message or reach out to me. And with all that out the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.